ABCs are the building blocks of the alphabet. So when you guys said that the deck was DEAD, I didn't BLEIF you guys because this deck is still very powerful. Yes, we did lose some very powerful cards inside of Knightmare Goblin, Striker Mecha Hornet Drones, and of course A Assault Cord Limited. But we still have A, B, and C, the building blocks to a very powerful deck. I'm TheCaliEffect, and if you guys want to see more videos like this, then go and destroy that subscribe button. But more importantly, go ahead and hit that notification bell because, well, we just too strong. Also want to give a special thanks to every single one of my Patreons. Without you guys, videos like this would not be possible. Also want to welcome our newest Patreon, James Canizero. Welcome to the clan. I hope I said you guys' name right. I'm so terrible with names. Without further ado, I present to you a competitive ABC deck profile for the September 2018 format. And no, this deck is not dead. I mean, it's still really good. Alright guys, so let's get straight to the skinny so I can show you some stats of the ABC. I think that this deck is still a very powerful deck. Even more budget than it was before, seeing that Striker Mecha Hornet Drones is at 1, you don't really want to play that card anymore. I think that this deck can compete at a regional level event at the best, mainly because it's still ABC at its core, guys. B-Buster Drake still searches Union Monsters, C-Crush Wyvern still special summons him. That gives you everything you need to completely link off your opponent and gain so much advantage. Let's start off with talking about the monsters so you guys can get better acclimated to how we play this ABC deck and what do we use exactly to combat the specific cards in the meta. For the monsters, we run one copy of Chris Brown, A Assault Core. It's actually kind of good that he's limited to 1 because more than is your man on the flow, more than one copy of him, I don't think there's enough Rihannas to go around. Still, it's the most powerful card. This is a card that you don't want to banish with Pot of Desires. You always want to search this card out first and foremost before you do any of your crazy things that could get this card out of the game. It is part of your win con. It does allow you to add Union Monsters from your graveyard to your hand when it's sent from the field to the graveyard. And as well as it being a Union Monster, it can equip itself from the field to your monsters. Also, keep in mind that A Assault Core is brown colored, meaning that if it equips itself to a monster, that monster is unaffected by monster effects. Next thing is B-Buster Drake, and I know you guys heard the Chris Breezy Drake thing that I had on my last video, but first off, you know what it is if you heard Drake. Making hoes wobble like a bridge in an earthquake. Never see me out because I live in my workspace, but I give you the business, so button up your shirt straight. B-Buster Drake is still that card, guys. When it is sent from the field to the graveyard, it adds 1 Union Monster from your deck to your hand, so you want to abuse the living daylights out of this card. He is the guy that's going to get you all of your parts. More importantly, when he is equipped to a monster, he makes that monster unaffected by spells. Lastly, I don't got any songs or anything to say about C-Crush Wyvern. Every time I see this guy, it reminds me of Orange Crush, but he's purple. So I really don't have anything to say about that. When he equips himself to a monster, he makes that monster unaffected by traps. So you guys really want to pay attention to those 3 effects. Monster spells and traps, they're all color-coded, brown, green, and purple for that. The next thing about C-Crush Wyvern is when it's sent from the field to the graveyard, you can spell summon Union Monster from your hand to your side of the field. Now, there is a way to soft cheat. Actually, it's a hard cheat with this card. Because your opponent doesn't know the contents of your hand, you can always special summon a Union Monster you search. But legally, you have to have a Union Monster in your hand initially to special summon with C-Crush Wyvern. There's really no way to verify that. The next way, or the next Union card that we actually play 2 copies of this card again. It's still really powerful. 2 copies of Heavy Mech Support Armor, and man, when I say that this card is powerful, it is powerful as hell. When it is normal summon, you can special summon 1 of your A, B, or C's to your side of the field for free. So basically, he's a junk synchron for the archetype. Even more importantly, he can equip himself to a card to make that card untargetable card effects. Imagine yourself plopping down an ABC Dragon Buster and equipping it with your Heavy Mech Support Armor. Your Heavy Mech Support Armor provides protection in the fact that your opponent can't attack over it, or they can't necessarily destroy it with cards like Dark Hole because this card can destroy itself instead. And on top of that, while it's equipped to the ABC Dragon Buster, it can't be targeted. So it's a very, very powerful card and very searchable through B-Buster Drake and Union Hanger. Next, we actually do play gadgets. I play 1 copy of Gold Gadget, 1 copy of Silver Gadget. The biggest problem with this deck is that it lacked extenders now that Hornet Drones and Knightmare Goblin were banned. So we had to find a way to extend our combos as much as possible. Just bringing out 1 monster per turn isn't enough. Silver and Gold gadgets allow us to special summon additional monster to our side of the field. We also pair that up with Photon Thrasher because Photon Thrasher, Silver Gadget, Union, or a Union monster, it doesn't really matter, A, B, or C, and like Brilliant Fusion or Union Hanger itself, Any combination of those cards make this combo go. Photon Thrasher is a 3-card combo for YuGiOh, Buster Dragon, and other cards that you need. It's also really powerful because it does allow you to just plop them to your side of the field. It isn't dependent on having another monster in your hand. You know, Silver Gadget can be Effect Veiler, Photon Thrasher can't. Nextly, we do run Gemini Garnet. This is the other brick that you have in your deck. Unfortunately, we have to find a way to summon 2 monsters. Double summon wasn't working. The Symphonic Warriors, while they're good, Symphonic Warrior doesn't put a Assault Core from your deck to your graveyard in case you have the Desires, and Brilliant Fusion does. There's so many wacky combos with Brilliant Fusion as opposed to the Symphonic Warriors. I just decided to go with the Brilliant Fusion route. It provides more bang for your buck in my opinion. That's it for the monsters. For the hand traps, we run 2 copies of Droll, 2 copies of Ash, 2 copies of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Now, again, for you budget players that can't afford Ash Blossoms or Droll and Lockbirds, going 3 Effect Veiler, 3 Ogre is perfectly fine. This is just to disrupt whatever my opponent has going on. Not really much else to say about those hand traps. For these spells, of course, we run 3 copies of Brilliant Fusion. This is the card that we want to see as fast as possible. It will give us another summon, 2 summons, and a monster to our side of the field. Gemini Seraph Knight in the extra monster zone isn't a problem at all, guys. You can always just link around with it. And now we have more cards to link it off with than ever before. So it's Gemini Seraph Knight's not a problem in the main monster zone as it used to be and times before. Next is 2 copies of Union Hank, or 3 copies of Union Hank, actually 5 copies of Union Hank, which are terraforming. This is the most important spell card of the deck. Basically, when it's activated, you add a Union monster from your deck to your hand. Or when your Union monsters are summoned, you get to equip a Union monster from your deck to your monsters. The reason why this card is so important, it fuels so many combos. It's your best card, probably your best card in the deck besides B-Buster Drake, you know, Drizzy Drake Buster. And it's just a really powerful card. Next is 2 copies of Pot of Desires. Again, as long as you're not banishing or drawing the Garnet or banishing the A Assault Core, this card's free. There's not a single card in this deck that, like, you won't miss anything when you activate Desires. I'm really trying to get people that don't like Desires on the Desires train, because in certain decks, it just does not matter, and ABC is one of them. As long as I'm not banishing A Assault Core, hell, I can even banish or draw the Garnet. That's not the end of the world. But as long as I'm not banishing A Assault Core, you're winning. And there's so many ways to search A Assault Core before you go off with Desires, and it gives you free cards. It is what it is. Called by the Grave to prevent my opponent's hand traps. Monster Reborn and World Legacy Succession. This was actually shown in the game. World Legacy Succession would allow me to go for a huge push because it's an extender. This deck does need as many extenders as possible, and I considered playing more than 1 copy of World Legacy Succession because of that, but I decided against it because I felt that 2 extenders was enough. I didn't want Soul Charge because I actually wanted to still be able to enter my battle phase, and this isn't the deck to like make an extra linking board or a board breaking board like that anymore, but I still do need extenders, and these cards work phenomenal. That is it for the spells. At 14, we run 6 traps, 3 of them being 3 infinite impermanents. It's a hand trap in itself. It's really powerful in this format. Drawing it, going second, is good because you can still activate it from your hand. And then also it negates opponent's monsters' effects on top of that. And then the last card, this is the reason why ABCs are still really good. 3 copies of Union Scramble. I'm so serious when I say this is the reason why the deck is still good. What this card does is you can target up to 3 of your banished Light Machine, normal monsters, or Union monsters and special summon them to your side of the field. So after you make your Dragon Buster, you can summon these monsters back to your side of the field up to the number of monsters. Also, when it's in your graveyard, you can banish it to add 1 Light Machine or Union monster from your Banish Zone to your hand. The reason why this is so important is because it allows you to abuse A Assault Core 1 too many times. Let's say if your opponent gets over your Buster, you have a security policy inside of Union Scramble. If they don't get over your Buster, activate Union Scramble anyways, get all 3 back to your side of the field, make another Buster. It is insane. When you open this card, it's just really good. I don't even know how to put it. I wouldn't play any less than 3. I tried 2, didn't see it enough, tried 1, didn't see it enough, tried 3. Seeing 2 after you make your Buster Dragon is like, okay, I mean, you're going to pop off. There's like no way that you're not gonna pop off. That's it for the main board at 40. And again, if I can talk about this card, I could talk about it for hours. That's why I brought it back. But I just want to say that it is a very powerful card. I feel that it's mandatory for the ABC decks now. But some of the other options that you guys can play, since we don't play a side deck anymore, I just want to give you guys some more options. The Artifact route is actually really good if you guys decide to choose that. Artifact Sanctum can special summon Scythe, which prevents the opponent from going to the extra deck, which essentially prevents you from getting extra link. Moral Attack provides a Zodiac Trident-like destruction because you can destroy cards on your opponent's turn. And then Sanctum, if it's ever destroyed by your opponent, they start playing like Twin Twisters and all that other stuff, it's gonna punish them by destroying more cards. Destroying more cards on their side of the field. Another thing we can talk about is Galaxy Soldier. I didn't play this card because it just didn't feel good. Like, playing Cyber Dragon Infinity wasn't free. In my opinion, you have to still give up 2 cards no matter how you slice it. Even if you do play Transmodify to transmodify one of your ABC monsters into a Galaxy Soldier, search another Galaxy Soldier, you still have to give up 2 cards to make the Infinity. And Infinity, like, outside of Cyber Dragons, I don't think is powerful, but you guys can still run it. It's still really cool to activate ABC Dragon Buster on a Cleave 4 Genius, special summon 2 monsters where the Genius points to, and then get a free Galaxy Soldier search. So that's not bad. I just didn't think it was good enough. We do run a 16-card extra deck. I repeat, we do run a 16-card extra deck. There's going to be somebody down below in the comments section like, you read 16 cards, what should I cut out? If you didn't pay attention to the video, just watch it again. 3 copies of ABC Dragon Buster. This is actually one of the cards you could cut to 2. Now, through our testing, I've only summoned this guy twice at most in the game. But once you summon that twice Buster Dragon, if you're still in the middle of your game and that Buster Dragon leaves the field, you're in a very suboptimal situation. You want to be in a better situation than that. So I do play 3 on the cautious side. The other card is a little, like, it's good, but it's like, you know, I leave it up to you. I don't like the card personally, but that's just personal preference. Gem Knight Seraph Knight, you kind of need this for your normal summon. Borlo Dragon, Boral Sword Dragon, and Saryuja Skull Dread. If you guys cannot afford the Boral Sword Dragon, then you can actually play this other, the 16th card instead, with your 3 Buster Dragons and be alright. Nightmare Unicorn, I feel, is pretty important to the deck because it gets rid of threats. And this deck is really good at just continuously linking off, gaining advantage, and getting free link monsters to your side of the field. So Nightmare Unicorn is really free. Topologic Trisbana, this is good for clearing back row, as you guys would know. I don't necessarily agree with all of it sometimes, but sometimes I'll tag out that Buster Dragon after making Trisbana. You don't make Trisbana and then make ABC Buster Dragon. That's not good. You make the Trisbana after you make the ABC Buster Dragon. Then you tag out with the Buster Dragon into a ABC monster that you don't want or don't really care about. You banish it through Trisbana and then destroy your opponent's back row. It's an extended combo, but it works. Decode Talker, it's still one of the best link monsters for this deck. Hippo Shinnigan is like an honorable mention because it makes your Buster Dragon 3,500. It's also 1,900 himself. He boosts all your ABC monsters. He's just really good, and he recurs Union monsters or whatever you need, Ghost Ogres, to your hand when he's sent to the graveyard. Cleave 4 Genius, really powerful card. Phoenix, Cerberus, Underclock Taker is a card that I was actually running Land Fornicus, and then I realized that Land Fornicus wasn't an effect monster, and I needed it for the combo in case you guys run it. Topologic Gumbular Dragon. In this deck is a 2-card, you can rip 4 cards out of your opponent's hand. So this is the 16th card. You guys could drop the Boral Sword card if you don't own a Boral Sword, or you can drop a Dragon Buster if you own a Boral Sword, or you can even drop the Tribana, depending on how you guys feel. But the Topologic Gumbular combo is pretty insane. But that's it for the main board and the extra deck. Now I'm going to show you guys the combos, including that Gumbular combo, a couple of 2- and 3-card combos that I think you guys will love. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so the first combo is going to require any Union monster in your hand. I'm going to use Heavy Mech Support Armor for this specific combo. Any extender, it can be either Silver Gadget, Gold Gadget, Photon Thrasher, it really doesn't matter, as well as Union Hanger. The first thing you're going to do is start off by activating Union Hanger to add from your deck to your hand B-Buster Drake or Sea Crush Wyvern, it doesn't really matter. And then you're going to start off by summoning your extender, whether it's Silver Gadget or Photon Thrasher, using Silver Gadget's effect or normal summoning the B-Buster Drake to special summon or normal summon your B-Buster Drake or to your side of the field. We're just going to go with our Silver Gadget. Since we have it, we're going to use Silver Gadget's effect to summon B-Buster Drake and trigger our Union Hanger to equip Sea Crush Wyvern from our decks to our B-Buster Drake. Furthermore, we're going to use our Silver Gadget and our B-Buster Drake for a link summon into Underclock Taker, and that's going to trigger quite a few effects. We have a Union monster in our hand, so we can activate the effect of B-Crush or Sea Crush Wyvern. We'll activate that as Chain Link 1, and then we'll activate B-Buster Drake as Chain Link 2. That's going to add a Assault Core, and then since we can resolve Sea Crush Wyvern, we're going to special summon the A Assault Core to our side of the field. Next, we can use the Underclock Taker and the A Assault Core for our last link summon into our Decode Talker, and then we banish A, B, and C to summon our ABC Dragon Buster to our side of the field. Now, this combo doesn't necessarily, okay, well, let's put this. You don't really need the Union monster in your hand to activate it in competitive play, but that is cheating, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to point that out there, that there's like no way that they would know. But again, go by honor code, ladies and gentlemen. Don't cheat. It's just, I mean, it's easy to do this. We play enough Union monsters. But again, I just wanted to get that ruling out of the way. So you might want to be a little wary if your opponent does something like this and they don't have a Union monster, or just keep track of the other cards in their hand throughout time. Hopefully you can catch them if they are cheating. But that's it for that combo. Let me show you another one. All right, so this is probably the pinnacle of ABC, ladies and gentlemen. This 3-card combo is basically, it's everything you need inside of an ABC combo. It requires Brilliant Fusion, Union Hanger, and specifically Photon Thrasher for this specific combo. Now, this combo could be done with a little less degree with the gadgets, but Photon Thrasher is optimal. The first thing you're going to do is special summon your Photon Thrasher into your main monster zone, and what I like to do is activate Brilliant Fusion first, because Brilliant Fusion, being Ash Blossom, Joy Spring, still gives you a Union Hanger, which still right here, this is a decent 2-card combo that you guys can work with, whereas Union Hanger and getting Ash, Brilliant Fusion doesn't really do anything. So you're going to activate Brilliant Fusion to send Gem Knight Garnet and Beatbuster Drake from your deck to your graveyard to special summon Gem Knight Seraph Knight to your side of the field. You are next going to follow up with your Union Hanger to add from your deck to your hand Heavy Mech Support Armor. Use your Gem Knight normal summon to normal summon Heavy Mech Support Armor to your side of the field and activate its effect, special summoning Beatbuster Drake to your side of the field. That's going to trigger your Union Hanger's effect to equip your A Assault Core to either Heavy Mech or well, to your Beatbuster Drake this time around. And then you are going to link summon using these 4 monsters for link material: Gem Knight Seraph Knight, Beatbuster Drake, A Assault Core, Heavy Mech Support Armor, and Photon Thrasher. I know it sounded like 5, but in actuality, it wasn't, because one of them was equipped. With that, you guys are going to make Saryuja Skull Dread, and you're going to trigger off a couple of effects. What I like to do is make A Assault Core my last of my chain links, because I know my opponent can't stop my searching and my drawing now. So A Assault Core is actually going to add Beatbuster Drake. Saryuja Skull Dread is going to allow me to draw 4 cards and put 3 to my top of my deck. And Beatbuster Drake is going to add Sea Crush Wyvern from my deck to my hand. I'm going to use the effect of Saryuja Skull Dread to special summon to my side of the field Sea Crush Wyvern, and then I'm going to normal summon Beatbuster Drake, using both of these 2 monsters for another link summon into Hippo Shinnigan. Now, this is where the combo could get a little bigger. If you guys had an additional Union monster in your hand, you can make a link 3, you can make another link 4 using Saryuja and your 3 monsters. You can even make Trisbana and then just start doing some insane combos. But we're just going to stick with the Hippo Shinnigan Saryuja Skull Dread and triggering our Beatbuster Drake's effect to add Heavy Mech Support Armor. Lastly, we're going to banish B, C, and A to special summon our ABC Dragon Buster. This essentially gives us a 3,800 attack Dragon Buster. Hippo Shinnigan can recur any light monster, Heavy Mech Support Armor or Photon Thrasher into our hand, which gives us a next turn play. Seeing that we have a Heavy Mech Support Armor and a Photon Thrasher at the end of our combo sequence, as well as ABC Dragon Buster can special summon monsters to our side of the field. And that was all still with 2 additional cards in hand. That is an insane combo, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am not fond of Topologic Gumbular Dragon, but I do understand that its utility is insane. This is basically a 2-card combo. You're going to be able to rip your opponent's hand for 4 cards, as well as have some really established field presence that probably will win you the game. Now, the only 2 cards that it's going to require in specific is Union Hanger and Brilliant Fusion, but you're actually going to need 3 other cards to discard to rip those 4 cards out of your opponent's hand. Unlike, other combos with Goki or whatever, you have Divine Sword, Phoenix Windblade. You don't have it with this. So I like to start off with Brilliant Fusion. You guys should already know why I like to start off with Brilliant Fusion. I'd rather have this negated than my Union Hanger. That's going to send Gem Knight Garnet and my Beatbuster Drake to the graveyard to special summon Gem Knight Seraph Knight. Then I'm going to follow up by activating Union Hanger to add from my deck to my hand Heavy Mech Support Armor. I'm going to use my Gem Knight Seraph Knight normal summon to normal summon, of course, Heavy Mech Support Armor. And then Chain Link 1 is going to be Heavy Mech Support Armor. Chain Link 2 is going to be Union Hanger. Union Hanger is actually going to equip the Sea Crush Wyvern to my Heavy Mech Support Armor, and Beatbuster Drake is going to special summon itself to its side of the field. I'm then going to use my Gem Knight Seraph Knight and my Beatbuster Drake for a link summon into Underclock Taker, triggering my Beatbuster Drake's effect to search A Assault Core from my deck to my hand. Now, I know you guys are wondering, why'd you equip the B to Heavy Mech? If I would equip the C to B, then I wouldn't have been able to special summon the A Assault Core, because they would have been both in the same chain order. I'm going to use the Underclock Taker and the Heavy Mech Support Armor, Heavy Mech Support Armor for another link summon into our Decode Talker, triggering off my Sea Crush Wyvern's effect to special summon itself to the side of the field. Then I'm going to use Decode Talker and A Assault Core for my last link summon into my Topologic Gumbular Dragon. I'm going to trigger my effect of a Assault Core to add heavy mech support armor from my graveyard to my hand. Actually, it doesn't matter as long as you're adding one. Now, from here on out, I'm going to banish A, B, and C from my graveyard to special summon, that's right, ABC Dragon Buster, triggering off Gumbular's effect to discard 2 cards from my hand and discard 2 cards from my opponent's hand. I'm going to pass my turn, and on their turn, I'm going to use ABC Dragon Buster's effect again to tribute itself to special summon all 3 monsters to the side of the field, thus triggering Gumbular's effect again, discarding the last 2 to discard 2 more cards from my opponent. Union Hanger's effect does go off, which allows me to equip another B-Buster Drake to my side of the field, which means that I will be able to get 2 searches, 1 recursion. So I'll essentially have 3 cards in my hand when this is all done to my opponent's 2 cards in their hand, as well as me actually having a 3k beater and more monsters in the field. So they're gonna have to deal with this board with 2 cards before they can do anything else, or they're probably going to lose. Thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the TheCaliEffect. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a like, and if you didn't, let me know down below in the comment section what I could do to be better. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy. I hope you guys are having a great day like I am.